Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. In the last video about Ash Regan, I did tease that Labour were having problems with the Gender Act as well, because obviously Ash was wanting an apology from Nicola Sturgeon over her treatment. But of course, Labour are having a bit of a civil war. You have Labour, the Labour Party, the UK-wide Labour Party, and you have Scottish Labour. And they both are taking diametrically opposing views on gender reforms. And indeed, as I said in that one, it's taken 18 months for Sir Keir Starmer to finally find out and discover what a woman was. Famously, he couldn't answer that question before. Kept saying he doesn't know. It's a very hard question. It's not a hard question. It's not. It really isn't. What it is it's very hard to answer it without upsetting some very, very mentally ill men. A very small number of mentally ill men who probably won't vote for you anyway. Anyway, we'll take a look at this article, see why there is, not just it appears in the SNP to be a civil war on this matter, but also in the Labour movement. And it would be delicious to see. Again, I'm not picking on the SNP on this one. This is Labour. We've already done one against Rishi Sunak this week, so it's Friday, wasn't it? So I'm just going to spread the joy, spread the love, and we'll have a look at the divisions in the Labour Party now over this matter. Here goes. So Labour try and fail to hide the rift over gender policy amid ongoing silence from Anas Sawar. Now, Anas Sawar, this ongoing silence is probably his best move. For the last 18 months to 2 years, Anas Sawar has been remarkably silent. And in that time, Labour have gained, slowly but surely, on the SNP. The SNP keep making a whole series of mistakes, and rather than sort of jumping in, trying to capitalise on them, what's happened is that Anas Sawar has sat back and said, no, we'll be quiet. Occasionally they've had to make a comment, and so he sends out his attack dog, and Jackie Bailey, and she goes for she snaps at the ankles of the SNP. He himself has remained very quiet, and I think it's been his best move, because while he's not saying anything, he's not antagonising people, he's not stoking division, and I think it's the best move for him. However, now he's in an unavoidable place, because Scottish Labour have said no, they're going to recognise the Gender Recognition Bill. They are going to push through, and there is a court case, and they're going to back this court case. Now, it could well be, because of the length of time it takes this court case to go, you could end up with a Labour Prime Minister in London, in Westminster, going to court to speak out against the Gender Reform Bill, trying to cancel it. Meanwhile, the Labour leader in Scotland will be standing in the same courtroom defending it. It's going to be a good thing to watch. I do hope it does, because these kind of things open up all sorts of divisions among parties, and while parties are divided, they spend more time fighting with each other and less time screwing up the country. Anyway, we'll have a look anyway. So, a Scottish Labour MSP has been trying but failing to downplay the division over the wider party's opinion on reforms to gender policy. This is following Sir Keir Starmer's decision to ditch support for self-ID and the looming Scottish Government court case to defend it. Basically, he's come around and said he's realised, finally realised what we've all known. It's a terrible idea, that it endangers women and children, and that it puts people at very great risk. And it's not a policy that should be promoted. So he's finally come around to the side of the sensible. And like I say, 18 months later, he works out what a woman is, which is always a good step. But unfortunately, the Labour Party in Scotland haven't quite got there yet. And presumably, they don't know what a woman is. Anyway, Daniel Johnson MSP told BBC's Good Morning Scotland that he rejected the characterisation that his party would be on opposite sides of the legal fight, pending the ongoing silence from Anas Sawar, the Scottish Labour leader. He so far failed to respond to the humiliating U-turn after his party backed the SNP Greens gender recognition reforms. Branded a floundering interview. They keep having all these fish. What is it with fish? Anyway, he said this is devolution in action when pushed on the issue. The Scottish Conservatives say the spin from Edinburgh South MSP proves the party is all over the place and it won't wash with the public. They don't know what the policy is. Like I say, you've got Labour in England and Wales saying, well, I don't know about Wales. Wales is a separate rule unto itself. But Labour in England are saying that, no, we're not going to back gender reform. It cannot be self-ID. You must have some kind of medical diagnosis, which is an absolute minimum, really. And on the other hand, you've got in Scotland, Labour going, no, if he wants to call himself Susan, he can go and call himself Susan. We don't care. And yes, I'm quite happy saying to that grown man with his full junk, get undressed in front of my 9-year-old girl. There you go. That's what Scottish Labour are saying. Anyway, the Scottish Conservative leader, Megan Gallagher, MSP, said Scottish Labour continue to be all over the place following the UK party's sudden change of heart on gender self-ID policy. They went away for a week about 3 weeks ago, and then they came back and they had this whole new policy, and everybody was happy, and everybody was smiling, and the sun was shining. And anyone believes that? Yeah, got a bridge to sell you. She said she blamed Mr Sarwar for failing to speak on the issue, while some Scottish Labour MPs or MSPs have doubled down on their support. Their Scottish leader has not clarified his position on a bill he forced his MSPs to back. So, he's forced them to back that. So if he now goes against that, he's making himself look like an idiot. No help needed. That left Daniel Johnson in a position of trying and failing to downplay the huge split between Scottish Labour and UK Labour. And the public deserves to know whose side Anna Sowar is really on, rather than leaving his own MSPs to flounder like Daniel Johnson did in this interview. Mr Johnson said, "Let me be clear about where we agree that the UK party has been very clear that we need to simply and make the process much more humane, and that is what they have committed to, is getting rid of the panel," which makes no sense whatsoever, but those are his words, not mine. Now, we are in Scottish Labour are committed to demedicalisation, which is a difference, but that's what devolution is all about. Demedicalisation means anyone has the right to suddenly call themselves what they want, and then they can use that to predate themselves on women and children. If you have a medical diagnosis, that is some way towards protection of women and children. It doesn't change their sex, it merely changes how the law should address them. No one can force me to go against what I see with my own eyes. The truth. May the sky fall. Anyway, there we go. And so, look, there's Shirley Ann Somerville, another one who doesn't know what a woman is, apparently. But, they have taken this position. It's not a good position. It's a position where you've got two diametrically opposed sides within the same party, or ostensibly the same party, and it will end up in court, and they're going to stand on different sides of the room. It's going to be joyous to watch. I do love it when parties fall apart, don't you? It's always entertaining. Now, I know some of you are Labour fans, and trust me, I do want Labour to get in ahead of the SNP. I want the Conservatives to get in ahead of the SNP. I want Lib Dems to get in the SNP. I don't want any Greens. Zero Greens, right? But no SNPs. And that's for the general election. I don't care who wins. We must get the Tories out. On the other hand, Labour going in don't help either, do they? They're all bastards. Anyway, I shall stop there. I shall come up. Trouble we got is we've got a terrible government led by an unpopular man, and we've got an even worse opposition led by the flippiest, floppiest, wishiest, washiest man who only recently found out what a woman is. Doesn't bode well whoever wins the next election, does it? But whoever wins, well done. Please make sure that there aren't any SNP MPs. Get them all out. Wipe them. Obliterate them. Take them off the face of Parliament. It's a start. And then we wait until the Scottish Parliament elections after that, and then we go, ha 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 ha. Who knows? Who knows? Entertaining bunch though, aren't they? Anyway, so stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, whatever party you are, let's vote the SNP out. Bye.